It says it's record. Okay, we're recording. Okay. Hi guys, welcome to our Dream Team Monday Zoom. I know in the title I said we're going to be doing some hands-on Chat GPT as well as some reels, but I do have a couple things I want to go over with before we start that. First and foremost, if you had, Sonia says I've unpacked 15 totes. Oh my gosh, yeah, Sonia's whole office just moved. So in addition to doing all the things, she's also got to do that. I know a couple of you were on there last night, but for those of you that didn't get a chance to hop onto the Zoom that Jennifer Zant, Carrie, and Courtney Trotter had last night, they had Cliff on. And I've listened to a couple Zooms that Cliff was on with Courtney Glaser's team. I don't know if I just was paying more attention last night. I don't know if the questions were different, but they did ask Cliff to kind of sum up some of the comp plan changes first thing. And I was glad that I was on there for that because not that I don't mind any of the changes that have been made. I'm actually really happy with them. I think it's going to make it very difficult for people to collect paychecks. But that also makes it harder for us to get our paychecks, but we're working, so I'm not worried about that. But I got the impression from Cliff that the reason that they're pushing the 200 PV versus the 100, and the reason they're pushing the 2 customers each month, if you guys you all have heard the word pyramid scheme, you've all been tacked with that probably. A pyramid scheme is when somebody is just recruiting, and not really selling a product. Well, we have Thrive. Obviously, we sell Thrive. But there are some people who have been collecting paychecks because they just recruited a team and they haven't been selling anything. And if Lavelle doesn't get a handle on that, somebody could come forward and start to complain and say, hey, you've got people making money and they're not selling anything, they've just recruited. So the having 2 customers per month to reach your QV, that was really key. So I just felt better understanding that a little more fully. He didn't come out and say those exact words, but he did enough alluding to regulations and so on and so forth that I thought that was really important. Some of the fun stuff that he hinted at, how many of you are hoping for pumpkin spice? He hinted that they missed the window last year, but they weren't going to miss the window this year. He didn't say pumpkin spice exactly, but he did say some seasonal flavors. And he said that would be happening soon. So my guess, I don't know. I can't imagine them waiting through the October getaway to do something like that, unless it's just going to be Christmas, winter holiday stuff. But who knows? But anyway, that was a really good Zoom. I don't know. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, TJ says better be back. I'm pretty sure that they save all of those, record all of those. So if you didn't get to watch it and you want to hear it, let me know and I'll see if I can get the link about that. So before we dive in, who's doing their bingo cards? What did you do in the last 7 days on a bingo card that you would not have done had it not been for the bingo card? Tell me what you did that you were like, damn, that bingo card made me do it.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Going live on Instagram. And so Tammy and I both realized this. Once you go live on Instagram, it automatically turns it into a reel. So it's like, I never knew that because I wasn't going live on Instagram. So I like that. It's like 2 birds with 1 stone. So that was pretty cool. And I did start putting more reels on Facebook because I want my Instagram feed to look aesthetic, but I'm making more reels than what it would do to look aesthetic over there. So I'm kind of going to have, I don't know, I have a different plan of how I'm going to post reels on both Instagram and Facebook, and they won't always just be the same exact reels on both. You'll get a little something on each one. So only because I have all these reel ideas to do. Thanks, Tammy.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. And I like that. I am the opposite. I put them all on the same time, the same place, but I know I probably would do better if I mixed them up a little. So I'll be curious to see how you decide what to do, and I'll try to learn from that. I am just I'm in the mindset right now. I'm in production mode. I'm busting out reels left and right. If somebody finds one reel that they like that I've done and they go to my page, they're going to find a lot of reels that they like that I've done. And that's just where I'm at right now because I'm trying to grow. And I will tell you all, when I started this, I think it was 6 weeks ago now, maybe 7, I had 2,000 followers on Facebook. I have 26,000 followers on Facebook. Now, that doesn't mean I have 26,000 customers, unfortunately. However, that's eyeballs on me that weren't on me. And I'm actually going to be sharing with you an example of something that occurred to show you just how crazy social media can be. So anybody else, did somebody else do something on a bingo card that they would not have done?
So I don't know if I can give you a specific, but what bingo card is helping me do is it's helping my creative juices rather than feeling like I'm starting off and trying to hit a ball with no ball and I'm creating the ball. The ball is existing in the bingo cards. I know what my fives are. The thing with the link tree, revamping that, Jennifer's aunt's son had done mine. I don't even know how to get into that one. And so, but yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever it was on the bingo card, I went into my notes section and I've got boom, 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 boom. All of my sections just coming to me. Now, do I have to try to get all of those sections going at the same time? Heck fire no, I would overwhelm myself. Not like I'm not overwhelmed right now. Hello. And so, you know, doing a couple of sections at a time so that the content, the value is there. And I feel like I have just, I don't know, I feel like I've exploded in an amazing way in the last few weeks. And I don't mean just because I'm throwing crap out. I mean, it is, I wish I could explain it, but the bingo cards are the ball. I don't have to create the ball. I'm just creating the ideas and the energy that comes behind them.
Good. I love it. I'm glad they're helping. Lindsay Lou.
Hey, hi, and hello, y'all. What I love about it is I effing hate 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 because I'm an overthinker. What I love, because I'm so tired of hearing that, I love that Tammy is very specific. We already have, she knows I can't say that word. I got like a list with that word. Like, for instance, reach out to 4 of your current or potential customers and recommend a book or a podcast. I like that you're telling us an easy way to do it, because sometimes I overthink it. Or when you're saying, hey, reach out to 5 people and give them a restaurant recommendation. When I first read that, I'm like, this bitch done lost her mind. But then when I have something that specifically says, do this, holy hell, I'm like Sandra. She kind of stole that like I'm in her thing. I would rather throw something out and do something than do nothing at all, or spend so much time just making custom conscious comments that I think are working that aren't. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And please remember, I can't take credit for all of those follow-up ideas. I went to the Google, as my nickname Toogle would indicate. And I also use ChatGPT for follow-up ideas. So if you ever feel like you don't know what to do and maybe you don't have a bingo card for the day, that's a great place to go. I do want your opinion. So it's the 18th. We're going to have these bingo cards for sure through the 30th. I was very specific on these cards. Like, for instance, yesterday was a Sunday, so I did things that were specific to a Sunday. I personally really like the bingo cards, and I would like to maybe keep doing them, but I think I'm going to make them more specific to like a Monday through Sunday and leave the dates off of them. The reason I say that is because, and everyone, this could be different for all of you, but if you look at your insights on your social media, for those of you that have like the public accounts, I don't put a lot of effort into my Saturday social media anymore because the views aren't there. The interaction is not there. I'm present. I put something up there, but I don't put a lot of time and effort into it. Whereas like a Monday through Thursday, yeah, for sure. And I even kind of played around with it yesterday. I did a reel like in the Sunday morning, which is still kind of the Saturday timetable, and it did okay. And then I did a reel Sunday night, and the reel that I did last night was specific to Pink Pro. It was kind of marketing-ish, and it went gangbusters. Again, because people are back on their phone Sunday night, like interacting. So I'm trying to, and I don't know, if you guys have different insights, like maybe it's different. Like maybe that's my age group. Maybe somebody else would have a different age group, or maybe like, Sam's out west and I'm in the, over here in Ohio, like maybe we have different things, but I would encourage you to pay attention to your insights and see, because I used to put forth the same effort every day, all day. And now I realize that I can pull back on Saturday. And instead of worrying about getting 2 to 3 reels out on a Saturday, I can do some of the background book work and just throw up, not throw up, but, like make a post. It doesn't, anyway, that's what I'm thinking of keeping these going, but I think I'm going to, instead of being specific, like, okay, today's November 1st, like that's, I want to create something that's evergreen that we can just keep pulling from in a rotation and not have to worry about if it was truly a Saturday or whatever. Okay. So with that, before we get started, does everyone have ChatGPT? And if you say no, you're in trouble. Okay. You're just straight up in trouble. Now, the second thing, and this is, it was on your bingo card, but do you have your custom instructions done in ChatGPT? Have you told ChatGPT who you are? Have you told ChatGPT, Chitty Chat? We're going to call it Chitty Chat. That's what Lindsay calls it. It is a mouthful. Have you told it how you like your things to respond, like plain language, conversational? Okay, Sonia says I don't yet. I think she means I don't yet on the custom instructions. I'm guessing because that's about the time she answered it. I really want to encourage you guys all. Yes, and I updated often. Yes, Sam, I'm finding that too. That was kind of going to be my point. If you have taken the time to do your custom instructions, please don't just be like, check and never look at that again. I even heard Susan say it today on her Wake Up and Win. She was like, yeah, that ChatGPT that came back was kind of weird. I had to kind of tweak it. It's that moment when I have that feeling that I'm like, oh, okay, if ChatGPT isn't giving me what I want, I either didn't give it the right prompt, I wasn't specific enough, or there's something in my custom instructions I need to change and or add. And it is going to be a moving target. Charlotte says I've changed mine up several times. So Sonia, if you don't have them in there yet, don't fret. But do know that it's going to be so much more productive for you if you have them in there. And I think I'm getting ready to sneeze, so hang on. Okay, maybe not. All right, I'm going to give you guys an example of how social media is working. And I'm not an expert. I'm just out here doing it. I'm like the soldier in the field, right? I'm just trying. I'm as lost as you are, but I feel like I have found some direction from a lot of the masterminding boot camping that I've done. So I made a reel a while back. I think I've talked about this before. It was just me pruning a tree, a fiddle leaf fig to be specific. I got a comment on this. So this video is old at this point. It's at least 2.5 months old at this point. But I'm still getting comments on it. So I got a comment on it over the weekend. And this girl says, I have no clue how I accidentally ran into your page in this info. I bought a fiddle leaf back in June. It's huge and I kept it outside on the porch, out of direct sunlight. I know living in Texas, I will need to bring it in soon before the temps drop. I'm so nervous. She goes, blah, blah, blah. She's asking me questions about it. So I went in and I responded. I cannot encourage you enough to respond. Even if just someone says, cool reel or great idea, take the time to say thank you, something. Well, this girl wrote me like a whole paragraph. So I responded with a much shorter paragraph. I answered her question. I encouraged her along the way. And here is where it gets juicy. Are you ready for this? Please, everyone, listen to what happened in the next comment from this lady. She says, Tammy, thank you so much for responding. That's the problem with my home. We have 2 large oak trees, blah, 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 blah. I was talking to my husband about the fig tree and your video just popped up. It's crazy how FB does that, isn't it? Where do you live? Prepare yourselves. It's getting juicy. She says, where do you live? I've started watching all caps of your videos. I am loving all your flowers and plants and that you're able to work from home. But here's the best part. Wait for this last sentence. Lindsay, I hope you're listening to this because you're going to drop your drawers. My friend Tiffany Deeroff, who I've grown up with, is amazing and sells Thrive too. This is on a reel about me pruning a house plant. This chick then went into my page, loved all my stuff, scrolled through all the things, realized that I work from home, realized that I sell Thrive, and has a connection to Thrive. So clearly I tagged Tiffany and Tiffany needs to call this girl because we have that. But what if this girl wasn't Tiffany's friend? Maybe this girl was friends with somebody else who isn't a Thrive promoter, or maybe they stopped promoting or whatever. That would have been my opportunity to be like, oh, if your friend's thriving, why aren't you? Right? That's it right there. This chick lives in Texas. She found me in Ohio. She found out that I'm a thriver and that I work from home because of my opportunity, because I made a reel about a house plant. So when people say, I don't know what to talk about, I don't know how to make a Thrive reel, stop making all Thrive reels. Share your life. Get people involved in your life and then let them discover these things. So, I think that's awesome. I wrote back right away. I was like, oh my gosh, stop it. I spent the whole weekend with Tiffany last weekend. We had a blast. She's the best, blah, blah, blah. But how crazy is that? We're not connected any other way, but Facebook had clearly overheard her talking about a fiddle leaf fig, as it does. So the algorithm threw my video at her. Maybe the algorithm knew, but I'm sure it knew that she was friends with Tiffany and Tiffany was a thriver and I'm a thriver. And so that's how it works. You don't have to only scream your Thrive life. I mean, I was shook. I was shook when I read that. I was like, holy crap. She even said, I'm watching all of your videos, not just your houseplant videos. I've been watching your flower videos. I watch your groundhog videos. I've been watching your Thrive videos. So you have to make it. That's why I'm in production mode. That's why when I say I'm making 2 to 3 reels a day and then I hate making 2 to 3 reels a day, that right there is why I'm doing it. And so, yeah, does it suck? Yeah. I went live yesterday. I did not want to go live yesterday, but I did. Right? Because this is our business and this is our job and this is what we're doing. So anyway, I want to talk to you guys about how you bring someone in with that wide net and then you bring them down into your Thrive life. Okay. So there's basically, you hear all the time, people need to know, like, and trust, right? Well, how do people get to know you? Okay. When it comes to social media, when it comes to reels and Facebook posts and Instagram posts and TikToks and YouTube, whatever the heck you're doing, for people to discover you, to get to know you, you need to teach them something. You need to give them some sort of value. In that case, I taught a girl how to prune a houseplant. On another situation, I taught a lady how to add a water feature to her garden. On a different situation, I made a quick recipe on a live that helped someone that was dairy free, right? None of that has to do with Thrive, but that's how people found me. That's how they got to know me. That's how they landed on my page. Okay. So when we talk about know, like, and trust, and you're like, well, I need more people to know me. Like I'm saying, you need as many eyeballs on you as possible to get to know you. Why would they get to know you? What are you doing that's going to make them know you, find you, discover you? What's going to make the algorithm pop up for them? Right? So I'm just going to look at different names on here. Obviously, Lisa she's my craft girl. Right. Like anytime I see a quick craft, I send it to Lisa. If she's out there doing a live or a reel about a craft, someone's going to find her that way. They're going to get to know her. They're not going to like her yet. They're not going to trust her yet. They're going to find her. Sonia, people are going to find you that love a female Harley, or maybe you just even a female adventurer who likes to get out and go places and do things. Because I know we always lock you into the Harley, but I feel like you're just an adventurer in that sense. I don't know. I can't even think of something forever. Samantha's got a kid in football. Maybe she's making a reel about something like a tip for packing her football bag, or the best snack for after football, whatever. That's how someone's going to find you. Now, notice I'm not talking about Thrive. I'm talking about you. What are you good at? What do you love? What floats your boat? That's how you're going to find people. Now, once you find people, some people are going to continue to follow you because you give good advice, but they may not like you, right? That's okay. Not everyone needs to like you. Yes, storytelling. Do you guys follow anybody that you're like, I follow them because they have great tips or they have great advice or they have great tutorials, but I really like them. Like, I'm not going to hang, right? Like you follow it. But then how many of you follow people that you also like and like you look forward to it? You're like, I wonder what they're doing today. Whatever they're going to share today. Wonder what adventure we're going on today, right? So how do you go from people knowing you to people liking you? There's a fine line there where you're going to, by being yourself, you're not faking anything here, by being yourself, someone who has now found you is going to be motivated and inspired by your lifestyle. So let's say you've made a reel about cutting a houseplant. I follow both Colleen Nichols accounts because I love her personality and her business fights. Exactly. And you look forward to it, right? Yeah. Like you look forward to what she's got to say. So and you've trusted her at this point, but we'll get to that in a minute. So for people to like you, they have to be inspired by your lifestyle. So I share a reel about a houseplant. People know me now, right? They now know this girl. She's got some sort of plant gardening, whatever. But now, because they found that, now they might be peeking around on my page like this girl in Texas did, and they follow a few more videos. Maybe they click on my story and they see what I'm up to. And it's in your story, specifically in your story, that you're going to use your face and your voice. Your face plus your voice will equal trust. So once they find you, you want them to start liking you. They're not going to start liking you until they get to know you. So in your stories, you're telling them about your day. You're bebopping around. Yesterday, I spent the day homecoming shopping with my nephew. I went on my stories and I talked about it. Does that have anything to do with Thrive or houseplants? No, but it's my lifestyle, right? So clearly the girl in Texas who was following me would be like, oh, she loves her nephews because she's been following my videos. But so people will get to actually that the like factor comes from you inspiring them by what you're doing to share with them like your lifestyle. So for example, if I'm going to pick on Sonia. So if Sonia's talking about I'm taking this road trip, but then she goes on her stories and she never goes out to eat anywhere. She never shows any pictures of where she's visited. She never has any of those cute smiling photos with her helmet on, you know, where you can just see the joy in her face when she's been riding. If she's not showing any of that, people might be like, oh, I like that this girl said she was doing this, this, and this on her route. I'm going to take in that information for my next adventure, but they're not going to start liking Sonia because they're not seeing what Sonia's doing, right? But now when she shares like the amazing dinner that they had at this roadside barbecue, or she shares maybe the waterfall that they came across, like they're going to really start to connect with her and like her. Okay. So we're 2 steps there. We got know, we got like, now we got to trust. Okay. So to trust, people have to have conversations with you to trust. Now, does the conversation have to be one-on-one? No. It could be a conversation that you have, say in a reel or in a story or on a Facebook post, right? Maybe you're having the conversation about something. Or maybe you're asking questions and getting conversations started, but it's in that conversational, like, so basically it's like that funnel, right? So up here, they found you, they know you. Now they're starting to like you, but now they're starting to converse with you. And maybe they're not actually talking to you. Maybe have you ever, please don't say it's just me. Have you ever been watching someone's reel or story or whatever, and you're like, no, girl, like it's almost like when you're watching a football game on TV and you're like, no, don't do it. They can't hear you, but you're conversing with them. So it's the same thing. They may not be really conversing with you, but they might be asking you questions on your reel. They might be asking you questions in your stories. They might be commenting, right? It's at that point when you start conversing with people that they start to trust you. That girl that commented on my house plant thing, her first comment, she didn't trust me yet, right? She didn't tell me that she was following all my stuff. She didn't tell me that she knew Tiffany. She didn't tell me that. She didn't trust me yet. I had asked a question in it. She had, so when I responded back to her and I answered the question that she needed answered, and I did it in just a giving way. I wasn't asking for anything back. At that point, something clicked, right? We had a conversation at that point. And she trusted me. And that's when she said, girl, I'm following all your stuff. I've watched all your videos. I even know that you work from home. It's almost stalkerish, but in a flattering way, right? But it's in that conversation that you get the trust. And when somebody finally knows, likes, and trusts you, that is when you have permission, I will say, to then come in with a, hey, now that, now, like I would have said, if that girl hadn't said, if she had said to me, my friend from high school sells Thrive, I would have said, who's your friend? Like, why are you thriving with her? Maybe she would say, well, my friends never asked me about it, or I don't know if she's still doing, like, whatever, right? And I could have said, well, here's the information that you need. I could have signed her up. I could have made that girl a customer, right? Tiffany's lucky she tagged her in my post. I'm just saying. But so you got to know, like, and trust. For people to trust you also, you can't be perfect. How many of you know people who are perfect on social media, but they are not perfect in real life, and people don't trust them? You can't trust that, right? Share your struggle before you share your success. So for me, before I successfully shared that I was able to prune this tree and keep it alive and it's thriving, I had to share that I was belly rumbling nervous about cutting it. I was petrified it was going to die. I had to share that. And because I shared that and people connected with that, then they were happy for me that my tree lived. If I got on there and be like, oh, I prune these all the time and they never die, I don't know what you're doing wrong. No one's going to care about that, right? But remember that when you're talking about your story and you're talking about your Thrive opportunity. So many people get on there and they're like, oh my God, because of Lavelle, I get to travel all the time. I have this amazing car. You should do it too. Right? Versus I was so struggling. I had to sell some stuff on eBay to make my electric payment. I can't even fathom now how different my life is because of this business that I stumbled into. Doesn't that feel different? Aren't you like rooting that person on because you now know they struggled and you relate to some sort of struggle that they had? And I think that, and maybe it's just changed over the years, or maybe we've just gotten wiser, but there used to be a time and a place where really all you put on social media was truly your highlight reel. Or it was like a braggy McBragster type situation. Whereas now, if you want anyone to pay any attention to you, you're going to have to be honest. Like I can't go out in my garden and show nothing but perfect plants all the time. I have to show that I got some shit dying. I got some stuff that's not even the right seed. I got to show what's going on for people to care about the fact that, oh, she did it up with a pretty flower in the end, right? So think about that when it comes to your business and your opportunity and your products. If you want to talk about how Rest Gel is just the best thing since bread and butter because you sleep like a baby and you wake up feeling amazing, you better tell somebody how crappy you slept before and what effect it had on you so that they can truly trust you. Because remember, when you get into that conversation stage, they've already found you. They're already liking you, right? They're inspired by you. They're liking you. Now they need to trust you. And if you come off as perfect, ain't nobody gonna trust you at all. And I think so. Colleen Nichols, the example that Samantha gave, she's a great one about that. She tells you, oh, I used to do this in my business and it was so bad. Or she'll even just say, oh, wow, I was looking and I can't believe people are doing this. Like they need to be honest about what's happening in their life. Like that's why you trust her more, because she tells you the reality of what's good or what's bad. So when you are doing, I gotta hurry, so I got 2 minutes for the next thing. The reason that this is so important to me when talking about Reels and ChatGPT, the Reels where we just used to do the voiceovers to like a funny song, that's gone. I'm not saying they're not still out there and that people aren't still doing them, but for your business, for people to know, like, and trust you, that's gone. You need to use your voice. If you are constantly filming stories, then you're constantly making Reels. If you're constantly making Reels, you're constantly making stories. Learn to click that video button on your camera consistently. If you see something that you're like, oh, I want a picture of that, video that. Don't just take a picture of that, take a video of that. You can always get a picture from a screenshot, right? Take a video of that, because that could, like, I went out to the dog pen the other day. There was a praying mantis. It was really cool. It was on the side of the thing. I went to take a picture of it and I was like, oh no, duh. I gotta like zoom in. So should I be chatting about my capsules in my story? You can absolutely chat about them. You can say, I used to fall asleep on my way to work, but now I take these because I love them. Like when I do my hero product, like this morning, you guys, I don't know what happened in Ohio overnight. I think we got rain last night. I was awake from like 2:30. I've been awake since 2:30. I couldn't breathe. I was stuffy. It was awful. So this morning when I shared my capsules, I basically just said, like, Thrive, don't fail me now. These Ohio allergies have had me up all night long. Like, I'm talking about why I'm taking that capsule. So now mine was in typed form. I could have put the camera on my face and done that also. It's totally up to you. I like to mix it up. If you go to my story today, you're going to see some of my face with my bad hair. You're going to see some of it just typed out. You could definitely be changing that up. But instead of just saying these capsules are the best thing in the world, like why are they the best thing in the world? Like what on earth has changed in your life because of these capsules? I think that's really important. Okay, so we've gone over time. So if you need to click off of this for the Lunch and Grow, you can go ahead, but I'm going to keep talking. When it comes to making your reels and your stories, to me, when I'm holding the camera up and I'm talking, like today, I was just talking out in the garden about how I really, truly am embarrassed because the garden is starting to die, but I don't feel like I can tear stuff out because the bees they're in heaven out there. And even though it looks horrible, they're happy. That's me talking. And then at one point I show the dying flowers that the bees are all over. And then I go back to my face. So that's voice and face. Your face plus your voice equals trust. And here's another thing that equals trust. Your truth over time equals trust. What that means is the more you share your truth on repeat, over a period of time, the more people are going to trust you. So any of you that are like, I've shared my story. I went live last month. Okay, go live again. Share your story again. I don't know what it is about us that makes us think because we shared our story that everyone stopped, dropped, and rolled and watched it. They didn't. I can guarantee you, your mom might have, your best friend might have, your aunt may have given you a thumbs up, but she probably didn't watch the whole thing. So share it again and share it on repeat. Let your truth be shared repetitively. You might share it in your reels, you might share it in your stories, you might share it in a post, you might go live. Keep sharing your truth. And maybe, maybe your truth is your Thrive story, or maybe your truth is, in my case, my garden story, or like whatever. But the more you talk about the same thing truthfully, the longer you do it, the more people know it's real. How many of you have heard someone tell a lie and you're like, oh, I wonder how long they're gonna be able to keep that up? Right? You're like, oh, that story is going to change in a week or two because A, they're going to forget, or B, they're not going to be able to cover that up anymore. So the more you're talking about the same thing over and over and over, and people are like, oh, wow, this is really truly what she does. If I had just gone to, like, I don't know, Carolyn Jard one afternoon and filmed her beautiful flowers and acted like they were mine and talked about what a great gardener I was, but then a week later, 3 weeks later, 5 weeks later, I never shared anything else gardening content. Well, clearly I've lied because I don't have, right? I wouldn't have had those there. So make sure what you're sharing is really, truly you. And then when it comes to using your ChatGPT, that again goes back to making sure your custom instructions are truly you. I want to go as far as to say, this is for you, Lindsay, and for you, Sandra, you can put in the custom response that you could say, I frequently say the word y'all. I frequently say the word get it, girl, or the phrase get it, girl. I frequently say, what's up, guys? The more you make ChatGPT you, the better it's going to be at helping you make your chats. So, and that is just something that I recently learned / thought of. You can go in, like, I don't know, there are just things that people say, like there's little phrases that people say. I don't know, we all have them. I'm sure if I asked you, you guys could come up with something that I say on the regular. But the more you put those things in there, the more ChatGPT can then be like, oh, this is an appropriate place that maybe Lindsay would have said the secret sauce. She might say, I often refer to the secret formula as the secret sauce, or, whatever it is you say. So get real specific, like be as much you as possible when you're filming, when you're coming up with your ideas, and then be as much, like, give ChatGPT as much of you as possible so that it can then make this even easier for you. Also, please know when you are asking chat, like when you're doing the prompt on that, like on a specific post, you can say, please do not talk about gardening. Please do not talk about Thrive. Like tell it what you don't want it to talk about before you have it actually create your caption or your whatever. But I want to challenge all of you, and then we'll get off here. I want you to go into ChatGPT after you have your custom instructions in, and I want you to ask ChatGPT to help you to come up with, first of all, ask ChatGPT based on your information, who is your ideal client, and let ChatGPT, well, actually you could say who's my ideal client, or who are 3 of my ideal clients, and then pick one of those ideal clients and say, okay, ChatGPT, come up with 5 reels that are geared towards my ideal client, but don't talk about Thrive. And again, just keep adding whatever you want it to add, and then see what it comes up with for you. And then implement. Keyword, implement. Don't just use ChatGPT to come up with all this stuff, like actually use it. Okay. So remember, you want to spend time every day. So it's the 80-20 rule is what it came down to. And actually in the training that I did a few weeks ago, it was the 10-4-1, I think. So like the 10 post or the 80% post, it's going to be for people to know you. You're going to be sharing information. Share, I don't know, Sandra, share what packing tip have you discovered? Share what information about maybe renting a U-Haul did you discover that you didn't know before, right? Like these are all things you could share with people that you're currently living that could attract, because how many people have moved or are going to help someone move, right? Or maybe they just finished moving and they wish they had known that when they did it the first time. You could share stuff like that. 80% of that's going to be just getting people to know you, just to get eyeballs on you. And then in your stories and in your reels, you can really start to share like, okay, here's the boxes. Here we are loading stuff into a trailer. Here I am vacuuming the spare bedroom that's completely empty, and I'm shutting the door so no one can mess it up. Like, you can share that stuff so people really start to get to like you, because they're going to hear your voice. They're going to hear your cute little accent. They're going to hear whatever little funny thing that's going to come out of your mouth, because I know something funny will come out of your mouth. Right. So they're going to start liking you from that. And then you can say, like, moving is the hardest thing I've ever done. Have you guys moved? Or who did you use to move? Or what? And like, get conversations started so that people can start talking to you and trusting in you. Check and make sure hubby hasn't packed empty. Yes, her husband, I'm just going to rat him out because we're all here together. Charlie packed a box of empty shoe boxes, a box of empty boxes to go to Texas. She's still married to him though, because that is how loyal she is. Okay, so this was a lot. I hope this was helpful. Thank you all for being here. And let's just keep bingoing on. I'm enjoying it. It's hard as heck, but I'm enjoying it. So thank you a million times. I'll see you later. Bye.